thank you guys for your time today. I don't know about in your house, but in my house, me and my wife are always complaining about temperature variance between rooms. You know, she's always a little too cold, I'm a little too hot. And what do? You play with thermostat wars, right? You screw around with it, you think no one's paying attention, you kind of tweak it a few degrees. No one's really paying attention. Your energy bill is. So, you know, I set out to solve this problem a few years ago, and I couldn't do it by myself. And we got a great team together, and now we have. And so, what I want to show you guys is this. You guys know what this is, yes? So, for those of you guys who know what this is, let's throw out some problems with this. Anybody?
Dirty.
It's dirty. Okay. What else?
It doesn't always close and open.
Doesn't always close and open. Fantastic. Anybody else? Whistling. Awesome. Anybody else? It does leak. That's great. So a lot of these problems that you guys are describing, it doesn't close really well and it leaks, are actually designed because these aren't really designed to close. They're designed to redirect air, right? So this is supposed to be an aiming device. In fact, closing your vents is very dangerous. So I would highly recommend you guys don't do that unless you know what you're doing. The problem is, and the noise comes from all these sharp edges, right? You guys see these sharp edges? It's like when you blow on a beer bottle. You know, you get that whistling. Same thing here. And the other thing is, what you guys know, it's not necessarily immediately obvious, is how much blockage there is here, right? So you see through this and it looks pretty cool, but you know, if you blow through this, there's a tremendous amount of air that doesn't get through. And if you're bored, like I am sometimes, blow on the screen door. You know exactly that. So this is the problem is no one's ever fixed this, right? As cool as floating as this is, since the 50s, no one's bothered to make this better. And this is the thing we had to fix. And so what we did was we developed a new vent. And what this vent is really one that opens and closes automatically, right? And so there's a door back here. I'm going to turn it on in a second. It's kind of awkward with the mic, but I'll show you how it works. But really what we've done is reimagine this thing. And the reason we did this was because a lot of us come from Lockheed Martin, where we built really intricate radar and also really intricate things that fly. And you know, we got together when I was coming up with this idea with some engineers there, and what can we do better here? So one of the things we've done is made it so there's almost no sharp edges. As you can see here, this thing's pretty wide open. And what that does is allow us to actually push more air out of here without any noise, but also the diffusion's a lot better, right? So you don't get that weird kind of cold breeze when you walk by one of our vents. And the other thing is, it automatically opens and closes. This is a little awkward because it's a beta product. But what you're going to see here is the vent that just will begin to actuate. So while this is doing its little thing here in a second, what makes our system really cool is that as a homeowner, to fix this problem, the temperature variance inside your house, it's actually a very difficult thing to solve, right? Because unlike a light switch, so when I shut a light switch off, it's immediately dark, right? But if I turn the heater off, that heat is still there. It has to go somewhere. And so to really impact heating and cooling inside of the house, you have to understand the system as a system. And so this is one component. The other is that sensor. It looks like a wall plug, because that's what it is. Just plug it right into the home, and that thing starts telling us exactly what's going on inside that room. And then this vent reacts. And the beauty of this is that anybody can install. In fact, a lot of our data systems have done self-install. And what you do is you walk around, pull out your existing vents, you put ours in. This will run for 5 years on current batteries. We'll get to longer in a few months. And then you plug the sensors in, and that's it. You don't have to program anything. You don't have to tinker with anything. Pull the phone out. You'll see all your rooms right there, and you can set the temperature of each room independently. Now, what's really awesome about this is while this was a very noble cause of making me and my wife not fight, what we found is that the fact of actually redirecting this air, you know, even with a very rudimentary algorithm, we've not only managed to keep the temperatures inside a house much closer to what people want, but we've done it while saving energy, right? And so this one beta customer we had, and this is just one example, you know, he likes it 65 degrees. So his AC is always running. And so what we did was put our system in, and not only can we now keep the room that he's in at 65, but he started saving 30% already. And this is without our algorithm taking into account sun position. You know, when that room gets that sun, you just you go pick up and reset again, and the whole game starts over. So what we realized is with this, we had to solve a very real problem. You know, and we have this Internet of Things kind of movement that's going on. What we built here is a system that is extremely easy to install, extremely easy to use, and solves the problem that people really have, which is uncomfortable homes, and does it automatically. And what's great about this is beta systems have been operating really well. We will be going into pre-orders later this year. And make your house comfortable, everybody. You know, it'll be great. And thank you all for your time. How much does the unit cost? That's a great question. Right now, we're estimating about $200 per room. So figure how many rooms you have in your house, it's about $200 per room. And to calibrate an existing zoning solution, this is how people fix their homes now, right? They have a contractor come in, they cut into your walls, put some baffles in, and try and separate your house into like upstairs, downstairs, or bedroom, the living room, things like that, is roughly 10 grand for room by room zoning in a 4-bedroom.
So the system controls the airflow into the room, right?
That's right.
And usually it's coming from the distribution system, right? And this is what it is. So what do you do? And the control system, you have one in each room, right?
We have a sensor in each room.
Sensor in each room.
Yeah.
And there's a central control system.
Okay, so what he's asking is how do you really control the air distribution coming from a central unit when we've only got control at the very end? Is that fair? So that's a great question. The way we do it is we talk to a wireless thermostat. So if you install a thermostat that has like Wi-Fi capability, we say don't mess with your thermostat anymore, just set room by room temperature, we'll take care of that. In the event that you don't, we ask that you replace it. In the event that you really don't want to replace your thermostat, because your grandma gave you a gift or something, our system still helps, but it's only at about 40% effectiveness. So we can only do what we can when the system's on. And so if you don't want to replace your thermostat, we're still helping, but not as much. Back there?
Thanks, I really appreciate the product. It's a great idea. And tell me something about ecovent. Is it compatible with central air conditioning with central heat?
That's exactly what it's for. I'm sorry I didn't bring that up sooner. So this is for forced air heating and cooling. Central air, it isn't as big up here, but there are 74 million homes in this country that have it. And most of them only have one thermostat.
Battery replaceable, you mentioned it's a 5-year lifespan. Battery
He asked about replaceable batteries. They're AA, and we tell you months in advance if they're going bad. We're toying around with shipping them to you. It's like, here they are. Right here.
Will it detect when I walk into a room to set that room in particular, or even better yet, depending on the person who walks into the room, set it to their preferred temperature?
That's a great question. So one of the things we're very dorky about is this thing called sensor fusion. It's big in the military, and what it is taking all the data you have and getting kind of an understanding. Right now, what we can do is tell that a door is open and somebody has walked in. Eventually, we'll be, especially when ID comes out and things like that, we'll be able to track people a lot better. But what's important now is to make that room where you want it to be before you ever walk in. We're kind of habitual creatures, and hopefully we can figure those patterns out. But right now, we're not close on that algorithm yet. I'm sorry. Second.
Our state and municipalities and things are going to put these into houses for energy efficiency, and does that be Energy Star certified first, or where are you?
We are dying to get into it. It's a very long, arduous process, and what they've told us is it's 18 months after you have a fielded unit that you can start kind of going down that path. So what we're doing is getting into them, talking to them about what we're doing, getting informed about what things we should change, what we should align it with. But once we've got something that's really something representative of production, we can't really enter the pipeline. Right behind you.
Can it be used as a standalone item without a duct system, or is it just compatible with duct system? So, for example, if you wanted to add ventilation into a home that has a base for it, again, you set up compatible ventilation.
Got it. So she's asking if the system works without existing ducts. Can we use it to influence airflow with baseboard heating and things like that? The answer is no, not yet. Probably not ever, because what we're trying to do is avoid a lot of invasive install. And so to add ducting is just a lot of work. And this wouldn't be the right answer anyway. There's a lot better systems if you're trying to install heating and cooling in your house after the fact, like high velocity ducting and things like that. That might be a better fit.
So does it also work with like older central air system that like installed for the 1970s or 80s? Would they be compatible and just easily replaceable?
So the question here was, does this work with older forced air heating and cooling systems? The beauty is it doesn't matter how old your system is, it'll work. What is cool though is that if you put it in an older system, we can start to tell you when things are going bad. So you'll know that that system's about to fail before it actually does. So it does work with any forced air heating out there because all that we want to do is make that air go to the right place.
And the vents come in different shapes.
The vents come in different shapes and sizes. This again is a prototype vent. That's what they'll look like. Oh, pretty here. Yes, sir.
What about debris getting into it?
Yeah, okay, so especially on the floor, right, you got liquid and everything like that. The boards will be hardened, things like that. We'll put the stuff in places that won't have a problem with that. The other thing is this has what we call built-in test, so when there's problems with it, whether the pulley gets stuck or the batteries are dying or the motor gets jammed, any of that, you get a trouble code right away and usually figure out what's going on. But it will be, we think about that as radar guys, right? Right there?
Yes, where will we be able to buy them?
Pre-orders go up later this year, and then we'll start shipping next year. Thank you guys very much for your time.
Come join New England's largest technology meetup, sponsor an event, present, or attend. Visit www.bostonnewtech.org.